Here's the thing, seeing sharks can be very scary. They have big sharp teeth and they move really fast in the water, and let's be honest, they have killed people before. But you don't need to be afraid of sharks. They literally just want to swim up to you and check you out because they're curious and then they swim away. But that being said, there have definitely been some encounters that will make you pee a little. Hello Most Amazing Top 10 family, I am your host Chayderena, and this is Most Amazing Top 10. Today we will be taking a deep dive into the jagged depths with our list of top 10 scary shark encounters. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. And stick around for the whole list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts which you guys love so much. And right before we get into this list, I'm going to give a huge shout out to our wonderful sponsor, Vertigear. Are you one of those gamers who spends hours upon hours gaming, but then when you stand up your back and joints feel like they've been chipped away? Is the chair you're sitting in run down and falling apart? Or are you one of those dudes that has never coughed up the big dough to have one of those fancy chairs to sit in, and now your lower back is deteriorating faster than LeBron James's hairline? Well, it's time to upgrade, baby. Let's introduce you to the amazing products over at Vertigear, specifically the PL4500. Just that name makes it sound like it's pulled right out of a sci-fi movie, and once you sit in it, you're going to understand because this bad boy feels like it comes from the future. Outside of comfort, one of the most high-tech qualities of this chair is the coffee fiber padding. This patented technology not only makes the chair more comfortable, but it also provides odor control and quick drying for added hygiene and comfort. Here's the best part, you can head over to the Most Amazing Top 10 Instagram page for a chance to win one of these bad boys. And if you want to explore more amazing products over at Vertigear, you can check out the link in our description. Now it's time to get into our video. At number 10 we have a close call. Now this video will probably scare the hell out of some people, but I think of this as just the perfect representation of how close you can get to sharks without having them tear you to pieces. Now that is a little freaky. That's a hammerhead shark, and you can see it sweeps in very close, and it looks like it's gonna take a chunk out of our diver, but then he's okay. Coming in at number 9 we have Julie Wolf. When you think of a canoe trip, you think about peace and calm waters. Every time I get into a canoe, I think I'm in a rom-com and I'm randomly gonna run into Jennifer Aniston and then we're gonna fall in love next to a campfire. Well, Julie Wolf didn't have that experience at all. Julie was riding her canoe off the coast of California when she got rocked by something strange. It felt as if she had bumped into a rock, but she was way out in the ocean, so there was no way she could have run into land. Turns out it was a great white shark. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great time to me. Well, it got even worse when the shark bit into her canoe. This tore a hole into it, but Julie still had some time. She started to paddle back to shore and was able to get back to land before the whole thing sunk into the ocean. On the shark's side, he probably thought he was getting a nice snack, and then he just got a mouthful of carbon fiber. That's like when you put some Kraft cheese on your burger but you forget to take the plastic off. Coming in at number 8 we have Dan SHOESMITH. A diving instructor was leading a shark dive and everything seemed to be going as planned. He took his group down to the bottom of the ocean, they kneeled in the sand, and the shark started to swim around them. The time underwater was finishing up and they started to ascend to the surface. Now normally the sharks would swim away at this point, but they started to follow the group to the surface. Not only that, but it seemed that they were getting closer. Dan got his group of divers to huddle together and stick their fins out to create some distance in case the sharks got close. He then filled a safety buoy full of air and sent it to the surface so the boats would know that he was approaching the surface. When he did this, one of the sharks chased the buoy to the surface. The group of divers waited about 10 meters below the surface for what would have felt like an eternity, but eventually the sharks left and they were able to safely exit the water. Coming in at number 7 we have the Jaws encounter. I had to put a movie one on this list, especially this movie. Think about what your chances of running into a shark are, how much time you spend around water. I know some people who are even afraid of swimming in pools because they think something is going to try and eat them, and this is largely part of this movie. Jaws gave generation after generation an irrational fear of sharks. And yes, it's an irrational fear because you'll see someone who's afraid of sharks wolf down a bunch of high fructose corn syrup like diabetes isn't licking its lips. this. Steven Spielberg has even said if he could go back in time, he wouldn't make Jaws because it demonized sharks in such a way. But the opening scene of this movie where a girl is getting munched down to that famous Donna is still one of the most iconic movie moments ever. It just sucks that so many people became afraid of something that they will probably never see in real life. Coming in at number 6, we have the Australian kayakers. A couple of mates off the coast of Australia were going for a nice kayak ride when they got an unexpected visitor. These guys didn't get a bump like Julie Wolfe, but almost like it was pulled right out of a movie, they saw a fin behind them trailing them, waiting to see if one of them was foolish enough to tip over their kayak. The two men were a little frightened, but they just decided they would wait it out. One of the men later described the encounter as a dog coming to check out what was going on. They didn't have a lot of options to scare off their curious friend, so they went with slapping the water with their paddles. Turns out that worked perfectly. Coming in at number 5, we have Cops vs. Sharks. No, this isn't the title of the new motion picture that's going to be coming out this fall. It's actually an incident that happened in Australia. It should be no surprise that Australia has back-to-back slots on a list about shark encounters. Well, a couple of police were responding to something that had them out on a little dinghy. I don't know what kind of water crime that could be, but they were out on a very small boat and a 16-foot great white shark swam by the boat. I don't think there's anything in the police training manual about that. Coming in at number 4, we have when Sam Jackson got eaten by a shark. Okay, just one more movie one on the list. This one is my favorite Sam Jackson movie moment ever. Sam Jackson is trying to rally the troops in the movie Deep Blue Sea. It's a moment of motivation. It seems like everything is about to turn around. But here's the thing about Deep Blue Sea. It's more of a horror movie than an action movie. And when things seem like they're starting to get good in a horror movie, you know they're about to get so much worse. That clip is so funny. A bunch of them got wetsuits on and everyone is glistening with sweat for some reason. I love every second of it. Cheesy deaths in movies are some of my favorite things. Alright, let's move back to real people getting eaten by sharks. Coming in at number 3, we have Bathroom Break. You know, if you're tucked away in a cage, the shark will find some way to get to you. A group of divers were down in a cage taking some photos of a massive shark swimming by when this underwater king hit them with one of these. I don't think you can smell it because you're underwater, but that poop is going to cover every inch of you. You're gonna have poop under your fingernails, poop in your eyebrows. You are gonna become one with the poop. Coming in at number 2, we have Scarier Than It Looks. There wasn't a lot that people watching could do in our next clip. They're just standing around watching in horror. Yeah, it looks like that shark is gonna flip over that little kayak and eat that dude like he's downing a Glizzy Gladiator hot dog. But here's the thing, that's a basking shark. They only eat plankton. They don't even have teeth. So even though that looks like it would be terrifying to be in the water with, it's really just a big vegan swimming out there. And coming in at the number 1 spot, we have The Cage Won't Protect You. The thing about shark diving is you want to ensure you're going to see a shark, so sometimes you bring bait, and the bait can get the sharks a little bit excited. A lot of people will go into a cage to try and avoid contact with the shark. But here's the thing about sharks. They are basically a spine, a jaw, and then all muscle and cartilage, so sometimes they can squeeze into very small spaces and you can have something like this happen. He's in the cage. Oh my God. Here's something interesting about that clip. There was a diver in the cage with the shark. The shark is thrashing all over the place. You have blood in the water. Eventually the shark works its way out of the cage, and then the diver returns to the surface and signals that he is okay, and walks away without a scratch, and the most amazing story to tell at a party. Alright everyone, that has been our list, and as promised I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets each day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. I usually pick who's messaged most recently, and if it takes me a little while to get back to you, I'm very sorry. I have a lot of these to do. Without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First, we have a couple of pug boys, and I didn't get their names, so I'm gonna name them Chonko and Peanut. Then we have Squirt, who is a very cute kitty. After after that we have another dog who I didn't get the name for, so I'm gonna call him Professor Shabloony. Next we have Monty, who looks like he's lost in deep thought. And to close it out we have a picture of Precious, who looks like she's searching for the perfect position to relax in. Alright, that is it guys. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Shade Arena, and even though they're scary, try not to be afraid of sharks. Bye.